Bob Iger was Walt Disney's CEO for a whopping 15 years before leaving the position in 2020. He was succeeded by Bob Chapek, who stayed in the office for just 2 years. And in an unexpected move, former Disney CEO Bob Iger has been reappointed to the position. Stay tuned as we discuss what makes Iger such a good leader that Disney decided to reappoint him. First up, Disney reappoints Iger. Disney recently fired Bob Chapek and had Iger replace him after less than 3 years on the job. The question arose, why Iger again? During Iger's 15-year successful reign, Disney acquired many big companies, like the Marvel movie franchise, the Pixar animation studio, and the Star Wars movie franchise. He left his job as CEO in 2020 after putting it off more than once to help the company through the early stages of the coronavirus pandemic. Chapek, who used to run the company's theme park division but stayed on as an executive chairman until the end of last year, took his place. In a statement late on Sunday, Disney confirmed that Iger would return to his job as CEO immediately and serve for 2 years. Under Iger's leadership, the company's market value went up 5 times. The company also said that the former CEO had a mandate from the board to set the strategic direction for renewed growth while it looked for a long-term replacement. Michael Antonelli, a market strategist at Baird, said that Iger's return was probably the most important piece of corporate upheaval since Steve Jobs' return to Apple. When Wall Street opened on Monday, Disney shares went up more than 8%, or nearly $14 billion on the news, just by the return of one man. Michael Nathanson, a senior analyst, applauded Disney's board for having the courage to make this change. He said that he never tried to hide his love for Mr. Iger and the work he did to make Disney the global powerhouse it is today. Next up, what led Disney to fire Chapek and rehire Iger? Chapek took charge of Disney during a hard time when the pandemic shut down its theme parks. The profitability of its streaming service Disney Plus was also a big question. As it competes with Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, the platform is in a crowded market and has spent billions of dollars making new content. Disney Plus has gained a lot of new subscribers quickly, but it has also cost the company a lot of money. To make matters worse, Disney is also under pressure in Florida, where its Walt Disney World theme parks are located. Disney spoke out against the state's Don't Say Gay laws, which makes it illegal for students in certain grades to talk about their sexual orientation or gender identity in the classroom. Many activists and teachers thought the laws were too restrictive, so the company spoke against them. This made the right-wing Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, try to take away the company's rights in the state. The company's market value has dropped by more than 40% in 2022. But when MoffettNathanson discovered that Iger was coming back, it raised its price target for Disney shares from $100 to $120. This was the first time the stock had been raised since early 2020. Susan Arnold, the chair of Disney, said they wanted to thank Bob Chapek for his many years of service to the company. She also mentioned that the board decided that Iger would be the best person to lead Disney through this crucial and complicated time. Moving on, will Iger be able to turn around Disney's biggest loss? Iger is very optimistic about the future of Disney and is thrilled that the board has asked him to come back as CEO. His return comes a few weeks after Disney's stock price hit after it reported a rare drop in sales and profits and a doubling of its streaming business's losses to $1.5 billion in just 3 months. Disney has spent about $9 billion on Disney Plus and about $30 billion a year on content like Hollywood blockbusters, expensive TV shows, NFL football, and other types of content. The company said that its streaming business had reached a peak loss, and Disney Plus is still on track to turn a profit in its 2024 fiscal year. By then, it will probably be bigger than Netflix, but the company has lowered its expectations for subscribers to between 215 million and 245 million worldwide. To reach this goal, Disney is raising prices by up to 38% in the US, and other places like Europe are likely to see price hikes soon. On December 8th, Disney will launch a subscription tier that includes ads in the US. Analysts think Iger will cut back on spending on content for Disney Plus and the pay TV sports network ESPN. Disney Plus was launched under the leadership of Iger, who was only there for about a year after its launch, so we can't say for sure if the service has followed Iger's vision up until now or not. We'll have to see what he does with Disney Plus to figure it out. But one thing is for sure, Bob Iger is one great leader. Speaking of which, here are 6 ways to lead like him, in Iger's own words. Number 1. What motivates people? Over the years, Iger has been asked numerous times about the best way to foster ambition in yourself and those you manage. According to him, as a leader, you should want those around you to be eager to step up and take on more responsibility. And you can't let your goals get too far ahead of the chances you have. Many people want a certain job or project, but their chances of getting it were low. The fact that they kept looking at the small things far away became a problem, and they started to get tired of where they were. Because they wanted to do something else, they didn't pay enough attention to what they already had to do. This made their ambitions work against them. It's very important to learn how to balance things. Number 2, making mistakes. You can't be successful if you never make mistakes. What matters is how and what you learn from them. Don't let your feelings get in the way. Be rational about it. Seek advice from wise people and move forward with the knowledge that you will make more mistakes. Iger once said that if you make a mistake, own up to it. People will respect and trust you more if you own up to your mistakes at work and in life. It's impossible to avoid making mistakes, but you can admit them, learn from them, and show others that mistakes are okay. Number 3, selling. When you're running a business or an organization, selling is one of the core parts of your business. It's one factor that builds loyalty and trust among the audience. You can be selling a product, service, food, or whatever, but the point is that you're selling something, and Bob Iger had some wise words to share on the matter. He advises that you don't start with a bad attitude or a small plan. People often focus on small things to hide that they don't have big, clear, well-thought-out ideas. Number 4, the company's culture. Many things shape a company's culture, but this is one of the most important. You must make your priorities clear and say them often. If leaders don't clarify their priorities, the people around them won't know what theirs should be. People in an organization worry too much because they don't know what they should be concentrating on. Inefficiency sets in, anger grows, and morale goes down. You can do a lot for the morale of the people around you by making their daily lives easier. A CEO must lay out a plan for the company and its top leaders and determine where it wants to go. Number 5, firing people. There have been times when Iger has had to tell successful people bad news. Some were his friends, and some couldn't do well in the positions. There isn't a good guide for how to fire someone, but Iger has his own set of rules. You can't do it over the phone, and you definitely can't do it by email or text. You must look the other person in the eyes. You can't say that someone else did it. This is you deciding between them, not about who they are as a person, but about how they have done on the job, and they need and deserve to know that it comes from you. In these situations, people often use corporate language that Iger thinks is offensive. There's no way to make the conversation less painful, but at least it can be honest. Number 6, Iger's principles of leadership. Good leaders are optimistic and enthusiastic about what can be accomplished. They remain optimistic despite difficult choices and less than ideal outcomes. Ever-changing and disrupted businesses need people who are willing to take risks and come up with new ideas. Giving your time, energy, and resources to the most important tasks and talking about your priorities often and clearly is essential. Decisions should be made quickly, even the hard ones. Leaders must balance the diversity of opinions and decision-making. Chronic indecision is inefficient, counterproductive, and morale-killing. According to him, a deep and abiding curiosity and fairness are traits of a good leader. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think the future holds for Disney and Iger? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.